Here are a few things that you should know when using your CPN to apply for lines of credit. And let me just state, this video is for educational purposes only. Now, first things first, you're never going to want to put that you make over $100,000 annually on your application. The reason being is because what you are looking for is a system generated approval. When you put that you make over $100,000, you can trigger the system for the application to be sent to an underwriter for approval because you put a large amount annually. Next, be mindful that if you put that you are self-employed, you can trigger them to ask for tax documents instead of the standard verification of employment. So if you're going to put that you're self-employed, make sure that you have all of your stuff to back that up and show proof of that. And don't forget, if you're stating that you have an LLC, that's public record. So depending on what that line of credit is for, if they feel the need to look into it a little further, you better make sure that that information is going to show up in the system if you're going to put it on your application. And this brings us to the next situation. When you state that you own a home, you have to keep in mind that stuff like that is public record. So depending on the application, if they feel the need to look into it, they can definitely run an address check to see who owns that property. So in my opinion, unless you really own that home, I would refrain from putting that on my application. It's much easier to just put that you rented from this address. That way you can have somebody verify that for you. To sum it all up, what it boils down to is when you are doing an application, you have to make sure that it makes sense. You're not going to want to put things on there that are red flags or that doesn't add up. If you're 25 years old, you're not going to say you've been with your employer for 10 years because how? You would have been 15 at that time. Which is also the same thing when you're picking out a trade line. You want to make sure that you're going according to the age of the file. If you're 22 years old, you're not going to pick a trade line that comes with a 7-year history because you can only have credit from age 18. So that means you want to keep it around 4 years or less. The same situation when you're listing a job and an annual income. Make sure you're aware of what's going in that area because everybody knows that it's different rates in different places. So just make sure that you're mindful and that your file is making sense. That way, when you're filling out these applications, you're not making any red flags that are unnecessary or that don't make sense.